Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the locker room, man. Say we got a special guest, man. We got New Orleans native, TCU legend, man. This kid
Yes,
was
sir.
first team All Big 12. We got some All American honorable mentions, academic All Big 12. That's huge right there.
Yes,
Uh, top two in tackles your senior year, led the Big 12 in tackles your junior year, man. 2021 fifth round pick to Houston, man. We got Garret Wallow, man. Show him some love.
man. Feels good to be on the show. Big
Yes,
T
sir.
talk, man. You know what it is, man. Locker room talk. Finna
Yo.
feed these young cats the game, man. So, man, y'all listen up, man. Just listen closely and just learn from me, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you for joining us, man. So, how's life treating you right now, man?
Man, it's living good, man. So right now I'm out here in Houston. It's off season. My first time having a full off season. College you had spring ball.
Yeah.
But now in the NFL, the off season is like a whole nother lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And it's interesting because the first couple months of the year you're grinding out. You got the season, you got weeks that feel like months.
Right.
Um, Now off season you're off, so it's like I'm trying to find something to fulfill my time, right? Besides
Yeah.
working out, my workouts in my morning from 9 to 12.
Mm.
That's when I'm getting my workouts and my recovery and my treatment in. So from 12 to 9 for the rest of my day, it's like where can I fill that space at? Okay, that's where I'm thinking about my side hustles. You know what I'm saying? Have some time to reflect, have some time for me, have some time
Right.
that I don't really have during the season, right? So, man, it's just been exciting to learn. I know as the years go on, my plans will only just grow from
Yeah.
now on, saying as the all season hits. But yeah, man,
So
life's good.
you say you got side hustles, man. What you got going on the side?
Right. So me and one of my good friends were thinking about starting up a real estate business.
Okay.
Um, And also, man, just trying to find ways to make multiple ways of income. So real estate is definitely a huge thing that I've been trying to step my foot into the door, and I also been interested taking internships with the NFLPA. So that's something the NFL offers.
Yeah.
Um, Trying to see the time frame between these internships because it could be done while we're in camp. So
Mm.
basically, these internships, I could shadow somebody in that field, real estate, coaching, any of those things, right? And I could shadow them and kind of see their day to day work. So that's something that I want to get into too, especially since it's offered and it's something that I want to take full advantage of.
Right. Okay. Man, hey, that sounds good too, man. I know a lot of people in that real estate and they making decent money.
Right. I mean, it's something that's always going to be there.
Yeah. Always people gonna need somewhere to stay, man. So I kind of want to rewind a little bit because I see, at TCU you was academic all Big 12. So back in high school, how were your grades back in high school?
I always had solid grades, man, and that's something. It just always came with a discipline thing.
Hmm.
Um, what most people don't understand is just showing up to class and just doing the simple things like getting assignments and homework done
Right.
gives you like a 75% chance of passing that class. Tests are another thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we all have times where we struggle with tests and we do good on tests, but if you just do all the other little things, I mean, it just gives you a 75% chance of already passing that class. And I
Right.
think a lot of people go wrong is they have no discipline in those areas. They
Mm.
have no discipline to do the small things, even if something like big knocks them down. So when something big knocks them down, they're not able to get back up because they didn't do the small things.
Okay. So you're a great student and obviously a great athlete in school. When did you know, like, dang, I can make it to the point that you are right now? Like, you have to have some type of inkling back in high school to know, hey, man, I'm gonna be in the NFL. When did that click for you?
All right, so they came at different stages, right?
Hmm.
So when I was in college, it wasn't until my sophomore year where I really was like, okay, there was the Evangel game, playoff game to bring us to, I would believe, the quarterfinals or the semifinals.
Yeah.
Um, and in that game, man, I just went off.
Hmm.
That whole entire week, like I studied film like crazy. In that game, it's just like that one point where I really knew exactly what that team was doing. I ended up having an interception to end the game. At that point, I was like, okay, I really have a chance to do this. In my junior year, that's my crazy. And at that point, I was like, oh, this gonna happen. I'm going to college. So then, when I was in college, same kind of scenario. My sophomore year, I was getting playing time.
Hmm.
Uh, Plays. and that's when my confidence started growing. And in my junior year, again, just went crazy, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this in the NFL. And then from that day forward, it's like my mindset was how to get to the NFL.
So coming out of high school, you land at the one how I feel one of the best colleges in the world is TCU.
Right.
What other schools offered you coming out of
Oh
school?
man, I had about 20, I think it was around 24 to 25 offers. I was interested in Michigan,
Okay.
but I was not a big fan of cold. I'm from down
No.
south. We get down, man. We eat
Yeah.
good, know the weather. So UCF, that was another place that I was really interested too, because one of my good linebacker teammates from high school, Nate Evans, he was there, so I knew I had the opportunity to play next to him, and I knew we had some good camaraderie from when we were playing together in high school. I really felt like we would do big things. And then Arkansas was another place I was looking at. It was a nice. It was a nice place. But the thing that stuck out about TCU was, that feeling when you go somewhere and it's like, okay, this feels like home.
Yeah.
It wasn't too far from New Orleans, which was cool. I knew my family could make my games. And then two, I still remember to this day. I know you're pretty sure with Coach Mockins. Big shout out to Coach Mockins.
Yeah.
One game, one of the realest coaches in the game. Really, really knows and praises that attack every day mindset.
Hmm.
Just sitting right there watching a spring practice on one of my unofficial visits, and I was watching the strong safety because that's where I got recruited to come play strong safety first, then moved to linebacker my sophomore year,
Right.
and I just felt so confident with the strong safety was doing. I was kind of telling Coach Mockins what he had to do,
Hmm.
why the play was going on, and he was like, "You already got it." So it was like, okay, yeah, I could play here. So then, man, it was just the love they showed, and then I'm a big guy for consistency. So and having a coaching staff that's been there for so many years, and just the thought of not having a new coach every year,
Yeah.
that affected me as well.
Man, what's crazy is it's a new TCU now.
Mm.
It's a new TCU now, man.
Let me tell you, man, Big T. Let me just give you the game on this, man.
Yeah.
Went to a practice this weekend.
Hmm.
Just the way that the community is involved right now in TCU, I love it. I feel like there's definitely a different energy in the building, and not saying any side is wrong, right?
Yeah.
From our days, we were that team that was kind of like get it out the mud. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like our practices and our training. I mean, for all the guys that play at TCU, know that man, it was probably second to none,
Yeah.
right? So it's cool to see now how like times are growing, times are changing to where now you have a bunch of the community involved at practice, which is good because it brings another energy going into the season. And man, it's just exciting to see those young cats get something new and kind of just broaden the perspective on like different defensive schemes and different things as well.
Yeah, because that's something that I had wondered, like, man, what's the community? And it's sad that I'm here, but I mean, obviously, with my son committing to Texas Tech,
Yeah,
I'm kind of looking more at Texas Tech stuff, but I still like, hey, man, how is the community receiving the change? Because I mean, if you played under Coach Patterson or been in the room with him,
right.
football is a whole different type of
Oh,
intensity with him.
let me tell you, the intensity goes from 0 to 100 real quick,
Real quick.
real quick.
And, and that's one of the things that I feel like, even though you had all these offers coming out of school, going and playing under Gary Patterson made you more of a student of the game.
Right. Well, a lot of things too. Playing under Coach P, man. Shout out to Coach P. While we on here,
Yeah,
man, one of the best coaches in the game, and no matter what, that'll never change because just to see how he grew me up mentally, which is unbelievable, like unbelievable to me, right?
right.
Um, to have a coach that holds you to such a standard, and so every day you're fighting to meet that standard, meet that standard, meet that standard, and even when you meet that standard, you already know, Big T, that's
Yeah,
still not enough, right? So
yeah.
you still going, you still fighting to meet that standard, and when you
Just
look
makes
back,
it better.
I met that standard years ago. I just surpassed it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And to pick his mind, and here's for you young guys in college right now. At the practice, I would go sit in the coaching staff room with them and watch practice with them, right? Because I knew me being the leader of the defense, I had to know the defense more than anybody else. So me watching practice, I knew what we were gonna put in the game plan or what we weren't gonna put in the game plan based on what we were doing in the week.
Yeah.
So I was going to be able to tell people what to do in the field if I had to, and if they were slacking. So getting to see how Coach P, um, kind of brought his mindset into the game on how his game plans, I understood him from a whole nother level. So it got to the point where when I was out there, I could have called things just based off of knowing how Coach P calls the game.
Right. Okay. So thinking about this. So Saturday, you done played all these years, and I kind of want to talk about this clip. You got a clip, man. Y'all playing Oklahoma State. I know
Yeah,
you already know the clip I'm talking about.
yeah,
I feel like they're backed into the goal, backed in the end zone.
yeah.
What are you saying? What are you saying to the running back?
Yeah, so man, let me just tell you that was one of my favorite games in college, man. I
Right.
knew it was gonna be one of my last, so I was like, this is my last senior game, my senior game. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna go crazy. And my mom said every game, I'm about to go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, we get in there. Um, the play before that, before I said that, I'm gonna tell you what I said in a minute. Uh, we went to a 3-man box, so we had a 4-3. They had they kind of ran a it's like a pistol wishbone set. So you had the quarterback and pistol. You had two
Yep.
full cornerback in the back.
Right.
I'm reading my fullbacks, right? So, um, the moment I read them shooting kind of like to a stretch this way, man, I just shot the gap because I knew where my fists were. And I ended up meeting him in the hole
Mm-hmm.
and on to the 1 yard line. So the play after that, I was still so fired up. I was like, "You mine, boy? Like, come on!" I'm like, "I'm here," and he started laughing, and that's when I started laughing. I was like, "Yeah, now I'm being for real. Like, come on." So if anybody sees that clip, man, that's a legendary clip, man.
Hey,
I seen that,
one.
I was too turned up.
Hey man, that is one of my favorite football clips. For the
Oh,
simple fact, bro, I know you. I know you before you got to where you at, and that intensity I know you got, bro. And that I
yeah,
just love the trash talking. The camera is like right
yeah,
there.
yeah. What was crazy was I hit the video man up after I seen that clip, and I'm like, "Yo, how'd you capture that moment?" Because Big T, I'm not gonna lie to you, and this for everybody out there. I'm the type of person when I'm in my zone, I'm gonna trash talk you to death, and like that'll be anybody who could play next to me. You could ask anybody, like my linebacker D Winters. Sometimes he'll come to tell me like, "Boy, you know what you telling them boys?" I said, "Boy, I'm in my zone. I don't care."
Yeah,
But man, I would trash talk you like to death, especially like man, like I'm gonna be on your head the whole game. That's just how I play the game. Like
right.
so that just kind of matches my intensity while I'm going through the whole entire game. But to see him capture that moment live, it made me go back and just smile because I was like, that's me. They say
Yeah.
that's me video.
Hey man, that video, bro, is saved on my phone.
Oh
Just
yeah,
I tell my son, hey, do this in the game.
yeah,
Hopefully the camera will catch you one day.
yeah. Facts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So man, Kyle, man, he was our video man at the time. He's probably one of the best in the business I think I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So and he used to make some highlight tapes too and things like that. So to see him capture that moment was probably one of my favorite college memories.
Man, that's dope to have that as a memory, man. And you about to make many, many more memories like that. You got
Oh,
at least 4 times the cameras at the games now, huh?
yeah, yeah, it's 3 times the camera, so you get a bunch of replays too.
Right.
So it's only a matter of time. But now, you know how they trying to do the game now, man. They're not really messing with their trash talk things, and trash talk immediately goes to a flag and then kicked out
Mm-hmm.
the game. They're trying to change the rules of football,
Right.
which we'll talk about that too. I think what they're doing is not necessarily a bad thing.
Uh-huh.
But I think as players on the field, you gotta understand like when we trash talk, it's not meant to belittle somebody. It's really meant to like challenge that person. Like, yeah, I'm here today. What you gonna
Yep.
do? You gonna step up or you gonna fold? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So it's just part of the game. It's been part of the game for years. So um, for them trying to take that away, it's kind of like sucks. But at the same time, you got to be respectful of the rules too.
Right. And I mean, we got some more rule changes. I see today that they have said,
Over.
cool, we're gonna change this overtime rule for only the playoffs though.
Right.
So do you think that would have made a difference, Bills versus Chiefs?
Man, if we're gonna look at it like that, I think it'll make a difference in every game because you never know how a team is feeling. You never
Right.
know playing that day if they're clicking, if they're not, right?
Hmm.
So I think to think back and go back to a bunch of games where that could have been used,
Yeah.
I think a lot of championships would be different.
Of course.
But at the same time, I'm gonna go against that because if that team has that rhythm and they have like that momentum going for them and they
Hmm.
carry the other team, a lot more pressure goes on that team to score with not that much momentum, right?
Right.
So it could be have same results, could be different.
Okay. Yeah, that's something I seen today. I definitely thought about that particular game. I was like, man, even though it just happened.
That game was crazy.
Man, hey, you know what? This has been the best postseason I've seen. Obviously, it could have been better if my Texas was in there, but hey, I can't wait to see you out there
Oh,
doing your thing.
already, man.
So, so all right, I want to take it to this particular date, Saturday, May 1st,
Okay.
2021. You get the call. They letting you know you get drafted. What's going through your mind at that point?
Right. Man, I'm gonna give you the full rundown, dog.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, that was probably the most stressful time of me for my life, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, as I reflect back at it, I had my family all in the room, right?
Right.
And the days are going by, and you always think high of yourself.
Right.
You always like, I'm seeing guys go before me. I'm like, who are these dudes? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I know the mentality I have. I know that, and not knocking anybody in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I just the mentality that I bring to the game.
Right.
So that I feel like that puts me at an advantage, right? Which you can't knock nobody else for not seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting there, man. I'm seeing these guys go by, and man, I seen a kicker go before me. BTI
Mm.
got up, and I went and locked myself in the room for a minute.
Mm.
I had to gather my thoughts, but I was emotional. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
sat, and I was like, wherever I go, it's gonna be God willing. God got a plan for that. So I walked back out, and literally, man, I would just went and spend time with my family. Like I kind of just tuned out that. I just kind of just enjoy everybody that was there in my presence.
Right.
Man, I'm going over there to make me something to drink. 214 number calls me. It was like, man, maybe 3 minutes after this.
Mm-hmm.
After 5 minutes after, I walked back out the room just like enjoying family. Fix me something to drink.
Mm-hmm.
214 number calls me. I'm like, man, 214. That's it. That's Houston, huh? So I pick it up. I had bad connection in my kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I heard something about Houston. So boom, I walk in the front yard. I said, hello. Because Garrett is Nick Cassera from the Houston Texans. I said, man, that's exactly what I said. I said, man, it's about damn time. And he started laughing because he knew. So we had a good conversation. I met, all the coaches on the phone. They was telling me how they were excited to see me.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, I had my girl out there. I mouthed out to her. I said, Houston. And she started screaming. And then, my family, I walked in there. My mom's crying,
Yeah.
crazy crying. And she don't even know where I'm going yet.
She just
So,
know.
yeah, they just know that I got a call. And she was just happy to know we had a call. So everybody's in there celebrating, happy. Boom, get that call, man. And I told myself I wasn't gonna cry. Man, I broke down like a baby.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, it was just like to know that I finally made it to that level. Was probably one of the best feelings I ever had in my life. That day in General, man, we had a crawfish ball. Man, everybody in there, man. We listened to Zero, man. We
Oh
trying to
yeah.
get, man. We
Slow
turned.
loud and banging all in my
And,
trunk.
like happened, but then at the same time, man, it was like, all right, when do we start? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So man, definitely an exciting moment for me and my family. It's a real moment just to see me on TV like that.
Yeah.
Uh, Getting drafted, that's not many people can say that happened to them.
Man, that's big, man. And I was watching. I watched the whole draft every day because I was just like, all right, I don't know when he going, but I know he going. That's one
Yeah,
thing I know. So,
yeah,
and to see that clip, man, I just was like, and like, wow, just people that don't know, man, you was here working out, preparing for a period of time for the combine, and you hit me up. You was like, hey, Big T, I need some meal preps. So I
yeah,
seen you as you was going through the process, seeing your body transform, and for you to finally get that moment, bro. I felt like man, proud big brother, man. Like
yeah.
for real.
But I, it was on a week. and it was hard for me to stay. You know, on the weekends, it's hard to stay disciplined because you don't have your meal preps.
Yeah.
So for everybody listening, man, Big T, if y'all need some meal preps, tap in with my dog,
Yup.
assistant, and best tasting food. I had meal prep wise, man. Jerk chicken, I definitely do
Oh
that.
yeah.
Pasta, man, is off the chain.
Yeah.
But that standpoint, man, I just want to say that I appreciate you for believing in me because you would always tell me that every time I come get my meals. You would say,
Yeah.
look, I'm just happy to be a part of whatever you have going. And, you know, that really stuck with me because that was the most unselfish thing somebody's ever told me. And for you to just be genuinely happy for me, you know, I really respected that. That's why I kept coming back as well. And the food was great.
Hey man, but hey, and that was real, bro. I was like, hey, I've seen people made it. That was one of my childhood dreams, and it's just like you have to be the closest person that I know to have had that opportunity. I was like, bro, you gonna make it. I believe in you, but when you get there, you gotta kill this shit.
Hey, facts.
Like, I mean, my son look up to you, bro, and people
Right.
that don't know, I think Chapman was in the 8th grade, not even in high school. I said, hey, Wallow, man, I know y'all got a lot of stuff going on the campus. Just
Yeah.
spend a little bit of time with my son. And Wallow
Yeah.
said, hey, man, sure, drop him off. And, man, I
Yeah.
think that changed his life.
Right, man.
Right the next year, he's freshman starting on varsity. Um, he's getting able to watch you in your career. You get drafted.
Yeah.
He's like, I know him now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like now, it's like it clicked for him. And at this point, man, all state, all of that, going to tech, got recognized last night at a board meeting. And
Yeah.
to me, I'm sitting there like, man, it's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy, man. So I appreciate you for stepping in and just looking out for my oldest, man.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And you know, that's something that, you know, if I can give somebody the game of what I've learned and like what I've been through all over the years
Yeah.
and like not make that same mistake or learn from that and grow from that and gain confidence from that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'll do it every day for anybody. And just to see that the things that I told Chat prosper, for him and for me as well,
Yeah.
man, it's crazy to look back and be like, I told him this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, you have to believe that for yourself, but I'm telling you now, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then now you're like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And he like a celebrity, bro. He on the billboard and stuff. People see me, they be like, hey, I seen your son. And it's just a great feeling. So I'm like, man, 4-5 years from now, hopefully y'all can end up on the same team and I'm at the game. Man, that's gonna be
Man,
amazing right there, boy.
God willing, I'm still gonna be here, man. So,
Oh yeah, man. I'm praying you have a long, prosperous career. So since it just started, when you got to Houston, what was your first purchase as an NFL athlete?
man, man. So
I think I kind of know, but I want the people to
yeah,
hear.
yeah, nah, for sure. Um, I know. So for me personally, I never had my own car until I want to say my sophomore year in college.
Mm-hmm.
So then, you know, me and my mom, we went half on like the cars. She really paid most of it down.
Yeah,
Um, we got me like a nice little Nissan Altima. So you know, that was what I was getting around. Then when I was in college, I ended up giving that to my sister, and you know, letting them have it as a family car. But my first purchase, I always wanted a fast car. So I was going between a Hellcat or a Scat Pack.
yeah,
Like if I get a Scat Pack, I had a price range, right? I'm not just trying to blow like a bunch of money.
right,
I was like, man, if I get a Scat Pack, I'll be able to put the rims I want on it.
yeah,
I'll work done I want on it for the same price as a Hellcat. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna get the Scat Pack.
mm-hmm.
So Scat Pack, man, I threw some ribs on that thing. I blacked that thing out, tinted it out.
Yep,
Man, work to it, with some color done to it. So man, that was my first purchase, my first big boy purchase.
yeah,
I'm gonna tell you something, man. That was just for me to buy that for myself. Man, there's no better feeling. Um, Man, it was just a great feeling, and I'm not much of a jewelry person. Like you'll never go see me spend 20 bands on a watch, 20 bands on a chain.
yeah.
Hey, like come on now, like what you going? You could lose that any day. That's a quick 20 gone.
Quick,
You know what I'm saying?
quick.
You're right. You know what I'm saying?
So rookie year, rookie year is over, and if you ever watch NFL Hard Knocks, you know the stories. You hear about the hazing.
Yeah.
what is something that was, or one of the craziest things that's happened to you?
Yeah. So the hazing wasn't too bad, bro. Like, so throughout rookie year, I would have to bring the linebackers Popeyes every away game before we got on the plane.
Okay.
So after the walkthrough, man, I'd be speeding the Popeyes. I mean, I'm talking about all the Popeyes going like 90 down the street. Hard to get the order in. So man, I get back to there, I pass out everything, and I used to be that type of person that I used to show love to a lot of people.
Uh huh.
So, and Mark Ingram, one of the best teammates I ever came across.
Right.
Man, and for him to spend some time to talk to me, and kind of give me some knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Ask him all the time, man, you good? You want your little 5-piece? He's like, yeah. I was like, bet, I got you.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? So anybody that showed love to me in the locker room, Terrence Mitchell, he was our corner. He
Mm-hmm.
was the Patriot. Man, he used to show me love too. I was like, you good, bro? Like, I'll get you the Popeyes. He's like, yeah, man. So, if really, man, for anybody who, show me love, I always show love back.
Yeah.
So, I come back with 2 bags full, like, man, I got Popeyes. Like,
Yeah.
it's every week. I knew I had to plan out my schedule to make sure I got their food before we got on the plane.
Right.
But then also in camp, man, we were sitting down. I still remember they used to make the rookies get up each night, and go up there and sing a song. So one night they called me up there. I went up there, and so I got up there like name, college, and signing bonus. Boom! I go up there, give the name, college, and signing bonus, and I end up going there and singing "My" by Johnny Gill,
Oh.
and the head coach at the time, David Culley.
Uh huh.
Man, he was like, son, that's one of the best performances I've ever seen. He was like, my wife tonight, and he's like, Johnny, give him that red dress. Oh, my wife's gonna get it.
She get
So
it.
we were all on the team, all just laughing, man. It was
Ah.
funny, man. For me to go in there and man, just to come out my shell, and go sing that, just because I knew I had to, I was like, man,
Yeah.
that was like a funny moment for me. Like, and then we used to have to carry, some of the vets, pads, and helmets off the field.
Yeah.
So that was, another thing we had to do. But to be honest, man, shout out to my linebacker group.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was in the room with a bunch of vets, a bunch of guys really 6 years and up.
Yeah.
So they really treated me right, man. Brought me in like family. Taught me the game. Did whatever they could to help me out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think me being that group, man, was definitely just a blessing.
Right. And that's what's up, man. It sounds like they bring you in, welcome you in, treat you like family. Of course, they gonna make you do the little funny stuff, man. But I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't do nothing like that? So,
Yeah,
what's something your rookie year that you learned that you are going to apply to this sophomore season and moving forward in
yeah,
your career?
man. I think this rookie year for me personally was just a year of
Yeah.
learning. Right. I think for any young guy coming into the game, um, to take on just the responsibility, mentally and physically, of what the NFL
Right.
requires, it's just unbelievably stressful. And I'll be the first one to tell you, man, I went through it mentally this year,
Mm-hmm.
man. I just wasn't confident in certain areas, certain things. Man, I was overthinking a lot of
Yeah.
things, man. It was the first time in my life that I was really challenged mentally, right? I mean, you got to think, I'm waking up, I could barely sleep
Mm-hmm.
because I'm just like, what I got to do
Yeah.
next? And man, it's hard for me to rest because I know, man, just so much in my mind, like, man, I want to perform at the best I can perform. Man, I want to make sure I'm trying to get my body right. Man, I'm trying to get this body fat down. I'm trying to get my body right, trying to eat right. Man, I'm just trying to do everything right.
Yeah.
And I just like, man, at one point, man, it just hit me like a wall, man. I'm just like, man, I broke down, dog. And it's like from that point, like every rookie is gonna go through a stage in their life where they hit that, right? I mean, you're taking on so much responsibility, man. You're taking on like so many opinions, so many people watching you, so many people like you're literally going out there like, man, I gotta be perfect,
Yeah.
perfect, perfect. Not like college where you'll be there another day. Nah,
Yeah.
if you don't perform, you're not gonna be there tomorrow,
Mm.
right? So you're taking all these little stresses on, and then things are stopping on. Like you got meetings all day, every day, and then you're constantly trying to perform, constantly trying to do things right, trying to eat right, train right, and you got a game, man.
Yeah.
So you got to keep your mind in the game. You're going against guys that are good too. You're going against guys who are getting paid just as much, if not more, than you. So you gotta take it for a grain of salt, man. Sometimes if a guy wins, you can't let yourself affect that for the rest of the game. You gotta realize, man, it's a war out there. So, man, just the mentality and all of trying to just keep myself together, keep myself
Mm-hmm.
balanced. Is man, I think that's the biggest thing for year two. Man, I feel so much more confident going to this next year. I know what to expect,
Yeah.
man, how to take on practice, how to be professional. So learn those things, man. I thought I wanted to figure it out. I tried to figure it out, and I wanted to figure it out right then and there. I knew it was gonna be a process. It's gonna be a time for me to learn and just grow. So man, throughout that process, man, for any other rookies that do see this, hopefully they do, or for any of the young cats out there in college, man, whoever get to that point, man, when you get to your rookie year, man, just take it one day at a time and just learn, man, and just be happy learning. Because you're going to look back after that's over with, and you're going to see so much growth in yourself that you couldn't even see that year because you weren't even taking the time to look at yourself
Right.
and see you're growing during the year.
So for young guys coming up, how important is it to do the extra in the workouts, to watch the extra film, to actually be at practice feeling like you're at a game? How important is that?
Man, first of all, it's gonna all start with the little things. I think for young guys, especially how college is coming now. First of all, if I would encourage any young guy to do anything, I would say get a meal prep because that's one thing. Man, just eating bad in college, I feel like could have held me to a disadvantage of like me not being able to perform at my best. Now that I see it now,
Mm,
so with all the extra money that they're getting now with this NIL and
yeah.
things, man, get a meal prep, get a plan for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Things that you're not always taught, man. Plan out your days. And then two, man, the extra work, man, that's just something that just comes with just naturally wanting to be great.
Yeah.
I remember my freshman year, I was one of like the only couple freshmen that used to stay. We used to work out at 2. And we used to run at like 3. The other guys used to work out at like 4 and like run at 6 or run at 5. Work out at 5 or run at 6 was one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Man, back when they was done running just to do extra like footwork and extra things with the safeties at the time. So, and I go way back, man. Like working has always been in my blood. This is all I like to do. I mean, it's my life. You know what I'm saying? So, man, being able to put that extra work in, because you're gonna come across people, especially these young guys, man. Talent's all over the
Right.
world. Where I mean, they got guys running 4.2s, guys are, but like at the end of the day, like the person who's gonna always stand on top is the person who works hardest.
Yeah.
Like working hard, the hardest every time they in the gym and they maximizing every time they in there, every time they're on the field they maximizing. That's the person who's gonna be at the top at the end of the day. And then two, man, watching film is what got me here.
Mm,
And something like most people don't even know, man. I've been doing this since high
yeah.
school. My high school coach, man, I've been watching film since high school. I didn't know what I was
But you was
watching,
watching.
but yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Ah, that's
So
funny.
man, I was in college, and man, my game went from here to
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm saying? Quick. So man, watching film definitely puts you a foot ahead of the game, speed ahead of the game, man. I say to any guy, man, I know personally how I
Yeah.
did it. I would watch film. Man, we had practice. You know, I go through the film, whatever you go through before
Mm-hmm.
practice. Man, I come back after practice. I watch the whole practice by myself. Then I watch cut-ups of the team, like any personnel, run fit wise, just formations that they did a lot. And then I go home. If I had any homework, I'll knock it out real
Yeah.
quick, and I'll watch more film before I even fell asleep.
Mm.
So, man, any chance I got to watch film, I was watching.
See,
And that's my confidence. I gain my confidence in film. If I don't watch film, I'm not
yeah.
confident. Watch film and I don't know what the other team is doing, I'm not confident. So now I'm a step behind and my game's not where it's supposed to
Right.
be. You know what I'm
And
saying?
going out there just thinking you're gonna outmuscle, outman somebody, man. You got to be a
It's not
student
gonna
of the
happen.
game.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
So my question, and got a couple more. You playing linebacker. You started as safety, but now you're a linebacker, and as a big dude, that was my dream position. It,
Yeah.
obviously, it never worked out. They say put your hand in the dirt, big fella. Uh,
Yeah.
who do you look to as like inspirations? I know, as weird as this might sound, I always used to watch Ray Lewis, and I was a D tackle, so me watching
Yeah.
him, it's just something about his intensity that I had to study. Man, who are some
Yeah,
people that you take on and watch as inspirations?
and um, two guys in the league today, Bobby Wagner and Fred
Yeah.
Warner. And got the opportunity to dab both those guys
Mm-hmm.
off. And I'm the type of person like I'm not on they I don't see myself on that level
Yeah.
yet. So I'm not gonna say too much. But the only thing I said was like, look, man, I respect your game and like appreciate it and went about my
Yeah.
business. And just seeing how they play the game and how intense they are, how smart they are, like, man, it's just unbelievable. So for me, man, that's my goal is to get to where they're
Mm-hmm.
at, if not better. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm one of the best to do it. And I'm not gonna stop until I'm the best to do it.
Mm.
So when I to get there, I'm gonna get there. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But just seeing those guys are, man, it's unbelievable, dog. And you know, to meet those guys and see them play in person is a blessing for
Right.
real.
So and before we get out of here, this might make you choke on your water. So I know you say the first person you told was your girl. You said Houston, right?
Yeah.
Chris Rock say something to your girl.
That's where you going with
Hey,
this,
I
huh?
just want to know, you gonna Will Smith him or how you feel about
Man, look, giving them get.
that?
Look, this is how I see it. Given the circumstance of Jada had an alopecia, man, I went in and smacked the shit out of him. Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Man, 'cause I'm not gonna let nobody play on my
I
girl,
feel you.
especially like that. But also at the end of the day, I'm gonna go against that. I feel like there was a time and a place for
Yep,
that, and I feel like just seeing how different people view it right
yep,
now. I feel like the black community is definitely gonna be looked down upon because of that incident.
yep.
Um, which man, that could have happened with anybody,
Anybody.
right? Anybody. I mean, I feel like Chris Rock was, and I'm saying this based off of what like others seeing and me viewing him. Like I'm right, like me, my talking with my teammates. I'm like, man, you know what? You're right about that. You know what I'm saying? It may have been like all fun and games, but also it's like everybody loses. It's not a win-win situation. Everybody loses,
Exactly.
right? Yeah. So, but I do think uh, both guys are
Yep.
wrong. I do think it could have been handled definitely in a better way,
Right.
but in the moment, I think we both know in the heat of the moment things get hot.
Yeah.
Uh, I probably would have Will Smith him,
Hey
dog.
man, and as I was watching, I couldn't figure out if it was real or fake, and I was like, no, I think he really slapped him. Chris Rock showed some restraint though.
Yeah, man.
But what's gangster about it though is, and maybe
Yeah,
it's just me, but after the slap, he turned his whole back on him.
man, and walked away
Like
like nothing
nothing
happened.
happened. Like I know you're not about to do
Yeah,
nothing to me neither.
I know me. If I smack somebody like that, I'm walking backwards the whole way back to my chair.
I mean, it only makes sense.
To see how Chris Rock handled it, I don't think nobody else will handle it like
No,
that ever in this
they
world.
would have been like, cut the commercial.
Yeah, I'd have been like, come here, come
I
backstage now.
mean, seriously, bro. That's hey, but that has definitely given people something to talk about, man. I hope the situation works out. But it looked like Will don't care. He was partying at the end of the night anyway. I would too.
Yeah, but man, that's just how crazy how much social media will just make something like that happen go
Yeah,
worldwide. I mean, social media in general, dog. Like it makes us see what we want to
right.
see, what they want us to see, and who people like in power,
Yeah,
right? If we go back to times where people were protesting, that's all you see on social
that's
media,
it.
right? So what you seeing now? Why you not seeing those same
Exactly.
things? You know what I'm saying? So it just goes to prove to you that, man, social media, man, it's a bad addiction, man.
Yep.
And it really think about like, man, Jay Reed, you know what I'm saying? He sent me something the other day, man. He's like, people think, social media is a thing, but it takes up so much more of your time, so much more things that could be used on other things,
Yep.
right? Now you seeing kids nowadays, man, with iPads and man, they like 2 years old. I'm like, dog, what are y'all like? What are we doing?
For real.
What are we doing? I'm like, we giving kids iPads at 2 years old and they stuck on the iPad. Like, man, they need to go outside in the
Yeah.
backyard and go do something. Like, just imagine how different your life would have been if I gave you an iPad at 2 years old. You think you would have been doing
No,
what you're doing?
sir.
No. No, indeed. But I found happiness going outside and riding bikes with my friends. As I got older, man, I found happiness of playing. Like, we'll go to the park, man, play tackle
Yeah,
football. I'm talking about our days were spent at the park trying to figure out something to do. If man play tennis and man, we playing
yeah,
tennis. You know, like man, we go be a kid, man. Go ding on this. Go kick down some trash
yeah.
cans and ride your bike away. Like, go do something that kids do. You
And
know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you begging kids, go get in trouble. And like go get in bad trouble, but
you
like
know what
good
I'm
trouble.
saying?
You know what
Good
I'm saying?
trouble, good athletic, go do, be fun. Cause I
Yeah.
know for me, I know a lot of mine, we was broke as hell, so we ain't had a cable, all the cool stuff. So it's just like, man, like you say, we in the streets playing throw up tackle, ding dong ditching. I didn't egg people houses. Like, not saying nobody need to
Dog.
go do that.
Dog.
But we was out there in them streets, man, cutting up, like slap
Man.
boxing, uh, just so much, man. But I say this: a lot of people or parents, they want their kids to grow up and be these phenomenal athletes, but they spend all this time on the game growing up to where they've not built that skill set.
Yeah.
So I mean, I agree with you, man. I agree with you on that, man. But hey,
Yeah.
Wallow, man, I sure appreciate you for hopping on, man. I know you got a lot going on, man. This off season, you probably gonna go do
Yeah.
some more working out or something. Hey, I'm gonna hit you after
Yeah.
this. I'm gonna finish this because I got
Yeah.
a serious question. But hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
locker room, man. We out. Appreciate you once again, Wallow. Make sure y'all check him out. Houston, Texas linebacker
Already.
32. Let's go.
I appreciate it,
Already.
man.